Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. The Nebraska bowling team was selected as the second seed for the 2025 NCAA Bowling Regionals to begin postseason competition, and will travel to Pittsburgh April 4th to the 5th. Nebraska will be joined by number 6 Arkansas State, number 10 Marville, Kutztown, and Fayetteville State in the regional. Competition for the Huskers will take place on Friday, April 4th and Saturday, April 5th. Nebraska men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg announced today that point guard Raleigh Wooster will not play in the Crown Tournament next week. Center Braxton Mia was also announced as questionable in their opening game against Arizona State on Monday. In the NFL, free agent quarterback Russell Wilson has signed with the New York Giants on a 2-year deal. He looks to compete for the starting job and help bring the Giants back to the playoffs. There are 6 games in the NBA tonight, including Clippers at Knicks, Pacers hosting the Lakers, Bucks versus the Nuggets, and the Celtics against the Suns. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Hedges set. The 3-2 offering. Bouncer up the middle, into center field for a base hit. Cotton scores. Here comes Frost to score. And Devin Nunez, the biggest hit of the Husker 2025 season, gives Nebraska a 6-5 lead in the ninth.
Righty Sousa steps on and delivers to the lefty Hoffman. And Hoffman swings and drives it deep right field and gone! 5th home run of the year for Casey Hoffman, and a 5-0 lead for Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Nick Hanley, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome into Sports Nightly, a full 2 hours coming your way here on the Huskers Radio Network. I'm Jessica Coody. We are awaiting the arrival of Nick Hanley. I think he's having some technical difficulties, but in the meantime, we are experiencing some fireworks in Omaha. Nebraska softball is up big. I think they just hit another home run. This is a team that's one of the best hitting home run teams in the entire country. And I think I just heard Nate, right? Camden, did I just hear Nate call another home run? So they were up 4-0. I believe they just hit another home run, and Jordy Ball is once again dealing in the circle, picking up where she left off over the weekend, which she was the Big Ten pitcher of the week in 8 1/3 innings, didn't give up a single run. Limited opponents to hitting 0-7-7 and just one hit the entire time that she was in there. And the Huskers got 3 big wins over Minnesota. So she is back to doing Jordy Ball things. Had a conversation with a couple people recently that were asking, is she maybe not herself? But I just think it's maybe an adjustment, because at Oklahoma she did not play in the field. She did not hit. And at this point she's basically Nebraska's leading hitter, and plays defense when she's not pitching, and she just has a much bigger role, not to mention she's coming off of a major injury. So it just takes time. Coming from a person that tore both ACLs, it's a process. It just takes time. Even when you're released and you're back playing, it still takes time to get back to feeling 100%. So obviously, even when she's pitching and even if she gives up some rods, they still a lot of times win those games. Most of the time they win those games that she's pitching. So where are we at? Do we know? It's 5-0 right now, and 2 outs in the top of the 5th. So we will hopefully be able to check in. I was planning on sending it out to Nate Rohr as soon as we head to the bottom of the 5th, but we're stuck at 2 outs. So we'll await till a good time to toss out to Nate Rohr and check in on Husker softball taking on Omaha. This has become – oh, is Nick here? Is Nick here?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, you can hear me. All right. What happened? Do we need to go back to running your computer one-on-one classes or what?
I was here the whole time. I was hearing everything fine, and then I heard that you guys didn't have me, and I was like, wait a minute, what are you guys talking about? I can hear and see everything fine. So
sorry. Sorry I didn't let you in on the action. But, I mean, you just heard me talking about Jordy Ball. I think we're going to send it out to Nate soon. But I've had this conversation recently with some folks that were questioning, oh, well, is she not the same? I think she's going to be all right, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of that also comes with I don't want to say her conditioning was still catching up when she got to this season, but we know going through fall ball and then getting in through the workouts, her rehab was fantastic. She did just a phenomenal job with everything with that. So once you start getting into those competitive repetitions and those competitive innings, I think that's a big part of it, where it was, I think, impossible to expect her from that first weekend to be able to give you a complete game performance to where she is just as sharp in the final inning as she would be in the first inning. And then you're also adding on, the last time we saw her in competitive softball, she was essentially playing one role, and that was in the circle. Now you're doing both as well. You're an offensive and defensive impact for this team. So I just think there's a little bit of an adjustment when it comes to coming off of that injury and taking a little bit more time to get your wind and to have that full game repetition stamina that we're clearly seeing right now.
Hey, one more thing, and then we're going to send things out to Nate and check in with him as Jordy takes the circle. But you have a good perspective of this. It seems like we've kind of got a little bit of a rivalry brewing on the diamond sports. I mean, Omaha softball's been solid. I know they've had some really good pitchers. They've been to the postseason. Baseball as well. We've seen what happened there. It's kind of become a little fun rivalry on the diamond.
And I think, honestly, Jessica, you're right. And I think for the simple reason that there is so much talent within the state, and there's only so many roster spots to go around to the 3 Division I programs for both baseball and for softball. And I think all of these coaches involved in the ball bat sports understand how important it is to, first of all, be able to lock that part of it down, but also the development that comes with it. And I've always seen this with baseball. This goes back to even when I was playing in the late 90s and coaching in the early 2000s in the Metro, that Nebraska high school baseball, I think, is one of the best kept secrets. I don't even think it's a secret anymore, because you have all of the SEC schools now coming in. And I think it's the same for softball as well. And I think you have certain coaches, and especially now at Omaha, that understood that and were able to find that missing ingredient that I think Omaha was able to get local kids in, but now they're able to develop it. Obviously, Rhonda's been able to do that for her entire career, and we see that with Will Bolton. Evan Porter for the Omaha baseball team. He's a local guy as well. In fact, I actually coached him in 2005 at Miller North, and then he goes to UNO and was an assistant coach at UNO.
Here. You're aging yourself.
I know. I'm aging myself quite a bit. It's weird when he still calls me coach, though. But
hey, coach, how you doing? Thanks, coach. How you doing when you're doing?
I know it's kind of fun. I actually feel kind of good about that. But he knows what it takes too to build those types of winners, but also understands how much talent's around. So I think that's where it starts. Is there's just a lot of good like volleyball. There's a lot of good softball and baseball talent here in the state of Nebraska. All
right, well, let's send things out to Omaha, and Nate Rohr on the call for us as things have moved now to the bottom of the 5th. Jordy Ball in the circle for the Huskers.
With a 12-6 lead over in-state foe Akron. 0-2 with 1 out to Kramer. Ball winds and deals. Kramer fouls this one straight back. And it remains 0-2 to Mara Kramer. Bottom of the 2nd inning in Washington, D.C. And UCLA, number 7 in the country, with a 2-0 lead on Howard. The Bruins tussling with Torrey Tyson's Bison. Now another 0-2 from Ball, and that one misses down and in. Ball 1-2. Kind of a neat week for Howard softball. Of course, Torrey Tyson with her strong California ties. She's facing Cal, which is out that way to play a league series at Virginia. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Kramer. She's down on strikes. Ball has struck out 3 in a row, and she has 8 strikeouts tonight. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. Special hello to everybody joining us around the state of Nebraska on Sports Nightly. Nate Rohr with you from Connie Clausen Field in Omaha. Nebraska with a 5-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth. 2 outs, nobody on. Allison Edwards takes the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. To finish the thought, UCLA taking on Howard tonight before they play Maryland in a conference series this weekend in College Park. 0-1 to Edwards, who grounded to third. The line by Ball. The 0-1 pitch. Edwards takes up and away for a ball. And the count even at 1-1. Of course, Edwards, no relation to the Husker softball legend Taylor Edwards. But, of course, Taylor will be in this ballpark in July. 1-1 with 2 outs. Ball brings it in. Edwards takes in the dirt. Ball 2-1. If you missed it, the Omaha Sports Commission announced that the Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball League will be playing a tournament here in Omaha at Connie Clausen Field, July the 10th through the 13th. 2-1 to Edwards. Ball brings it in and misses down and in with a fastball, now 3-1. Of course, Taylor Edwards, a little over a decade of pro ball, will be a part of that softball week here in Omaha. A lot of excitement around that. Now the 3-1 from Jordy. Edwards takes down the heart of the plate for a strike, and the count full at 3-2. They have a little booth here at Connie Clausen Field with information about the league, and I think even a couple of the Athletes Unlimited players made the trip here to Omaha. 5-0 Nebraska, bottom of the fifth. 2 outs, no one on. Balls 3-2. Swing and a miss by Edwards. She's down on strikes. Jordy has struck out 4 in a row. She has retired 11 straight Mav batters, and she has 9 strikeouts on the game. Omaha gone 1, 2, 3 in the fifth, and we go to the sixth. It'll be Hoffman, Bacon, and Bland due to hit for the
Jordy Ball is dealing. She is feeling it today. You know, to your point you were making before we sent it out to Nate, he was actually talking in the broadcast opening up about how many Nebraska kids there are on both programs. And it's almost like every player that he's talking about has some kind of Nebraska tie. I mean, even Ava Kuzak has Nebraska tie. So you're right. I mean, I don't know if the state gets enough credit for the amount of talent that they produce on those diamond sports.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it, especially when it comes to female and women's athletics. I think a lot of the focus, and I understand why, goes to volleyball, because it's been such a dominant volleyball state with the amount of high school players that it produces year in and year out. But softball, if you look at it, yeah, I mean, Jordy Ball in that Papillion program for decades has just been phenomenal. It's a machine. Scuts had some really good runs, not just teams, but actual dynasties as well. And it's competitive. I think there's a handful of high schools that are churning out Division I prospects regularly. And it's the same thing that you see on the baseball side of it as well. And what's interesting now on the baseball side of it is it's not even some of the usual powers that are up at the top. Lincoln East, up until maybe the last 5 or 6 years, was maybe the 3rd or 4th best team in just Lincoln. And now they've got a absolute beast of a team and really something going the last few years as well. The Millard schools have always been very competitive. You look at Creighton Prep and all those schools, but all of them throughout, not just the Metro and Omaha, but between Omaha and Lincoln and even Grand Island and Kearney and in Columbus on occasion, they're churning out Division I players. And so the 3 coaches in the ball bat sports between softball and baseball, I think they've identified that. It's going to be interesting because Creighton will be bringing in a new coach next year after Ed Service is retiring for a very long tenure at Creighton. Will he have the same type of recruiting philosophy? I would think that he would, but a lot of these coaches that are in place, both in softball and baseball, have been there long enough to understand the impact of getting those local players and knowing how good they truly are.
You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about this later in the show because we got a lot to get to today, but you kind of brought me to that here. We're seeing the transfer portal numbers for men's basketball. I mean, you can't even keep up with it. It's over, I think, 2,100, over 1,700 from Division I think 1,000 from Division II. I saw a couple players from Omaha have already entered the portal after they had a magical season and got to the NCAA tournament. You know, when you're talking about some of the programs like Creighton and Omaha and this changing of college athletics and the revenue share and the transfer portal, do you see them continuing to be able to get some of that talent, or where do you feel like they stand in terms of when this thing starts to shift of them being able to continue to compete?
And see, this is where I do think softball and baseball are very different, because I think you look at the SEC and baseball, the type of money that they are putting into baseball specifically, but also the ACC, where they understand the facilities are immaculate for the majority of both of those conferences, the ACC and the SEC, and to some extent too, and Jessica, you know this being from the Big 12 as well, the Big 12, when Nebraska was in the Big 12, some of those ballparks were phenomenal. We just went to Waco not that long ago in a series against Baylor. I think it was just after, or just pre-COVID, I should say. And that ballpark is fantastic. And it's funny to think that that one's maybe fallen a little bit behind in the arms race. So the emphasis of putting the type of money into NIL, into the collective when it comes to SEC and ACC baseball, I think does provide a gap. So I think even if you're in a position like you are with Nebraska, Creighton lost a player, their premier closer, to an SEC school this past year. I think if you get into that situation where there are a lot of those conferences that are spending that type of money, I think if you're a Big Ten school, whether it's Nebraska or anyone else, I think you have to be concerned about that. And isn't that the big question? You and I were talking about this not that long ago about basketball, of what type of rev share and financial commitment will go into men's and women's basketball. And that's a big question, I think, also for baseball, because in the Big Ten, I think you're in a very unique situation for baseball, that if you do put a little bit more in, you're probably going to be a leg up on a lot of the teams in the Big Ten. We were just out at USC and UCLA, and as good as those teams are, it's still not a high priority for when it comes to the rev share and when it comes to the collective. So can you put a little bit more in the coffer? Can you get something similar to, maybe not even to the same dollar amount that volleyball got, but can you get something that's specific to baseball? Now for softball, there's pretty good softball in the Big Ten, and I think it's spread out a little bit more even. I don't think you look at these NIL dollars going into one section of the country. So I do think it's a lot more feasible for softball in Nebraska and Ronda Rivella to be able to pull a mid-major real good player, or even someone within the conference that they've shown they've been able to do anyway. You get the Wisconsin transfer. So I think for softball, it's a little bit easier. It's a little more spread out. For baseball, it's very SEC, ACC driven. And so you've always got to be mindful of some of your better players, because they can flat out just pay them more. And unfortunately, that's kind of where student athletics is right now.
Yeah, I mean, and you hit the nail on the head with softball, because you've got some powerhouse programs that have been good, have been to the Women's College World Series, Northwestern, Michigan. Then you add the teams from the West Coast that are absolutely and have been relevant and winning programs in college softball for a long, long time, in UCLA and Oregon and Washington. So the conference already had, I think, maybe softball-wise, a little bit more respect in the sport than baseball maybe did in the Big Ten, and then you add some teams, and it helped the cause there for softball. So I agree with you there. All right, we got to get to a break. I think we are now in the top of the sixth, 2 outs, but again, Nebraska leading 5-0 over Omaha in softball action. So 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to be a part of the show tonight on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by Woodhouse. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
The signs are everywhere. It's time for Truck Month at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get up to $7,500 cash on F-150 and save on Ford Super Duty. Both part of F-Series, America's best-selling truck lineup for 48 years. Hurry in, folks. These trucks are running. Drive a new Ford F-150 with up to $7,500 cash or 1.9 financing plus $4,750 cash. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
The signs are everywhere. It's time for Truck Month at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get $3,000 cash on Super Duty and save on Ford F-150. Both part of F-Series, America's best-selling truck lineup for 48 years. Hurry in, folks. These trucks are running. Drive a new Ford Super Duty with $3,000 cash or 1.9% financing. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. I feel like there's so much that's happened since we were on the air on Monday. Obviously, we had first spring football practices that Coach Rule and players met with the media. We got another one tomorrow, and actually it's open practice for some of the media folks tomorrow. Had pro day, baseball game, so got a lot to get to here in the show tonight. So we're going to hear from Bryce Williams coming up hour number 2. Nick and I are going to dive into the Crown tournament, all that kind of stuff, the news that we heard from Husker men's basketball. New assistant coach, Coach Hoiberg, will now look to hire. Also hear from Emitt Johnson as he's The running back room's interesting, so I want to dive into that. But Pro Day also took place, and we have been talking about Ty Robinson since really the All-Star game. I mean, he's done. You talk about a guy that made a decision that could have left a year ago, but decided to come back and made the most of his year to really set himself up for a really good spot going into this year's draft. And he continues to impress. He did not do everything because he didn't need to, because he was unbelievable at the combine, but he still had to meet with teams and was there with his teammates, did some defensive line drills. And but I got a chance to chat with him following the conclusion of the day to catch up with Ty. All right, Ty Robinson, how does it feel to be back in this building and on this field again?
I mean, you know, the nostalgia, right? I'm just kidding. No, it's been awesome to be back here. You know, I've been back for like the last week or two, and just getting to see everyone again, and you know, just be able to work out. Now it feels weird that I have to work out after everyone else. I kind of have to wait my turn now, but no, it's been awesome to be back in the building.
How would you just describe this process from when the bowl game ended to where you are today?
It's been so much fun. Like, I can't even explain like the journey that I've been on, like, and the opportunities and the people that I've met, and just being able to, you know, advocate for myself, and not only that, but meet, you know, a bunch of other guys that are going through the same process, and, you know, all of us just wanting the best for each other, and, you know, there's no animosity or anything like that, I think, with the group that we had, and just, you know, it's been awesome.
The combine, you obviously set the world on fire with your 40 time. Were you confident? Did you know you were going to run that fast?
I knew I was going to run fast. I knew I wanted to be the fastest. I just didn't know what that was going to take, and you know, I guess I had what it took. So I'm super happy, super proud. You know, what have happened without the people down in Arizona for the last 2 months just kind of helped me get the, you know, tweak the 40 stance and the, you know, the little explosion stuff, and obviously the guys here have done a great job the last 2 years as well.
How did just your time here as a Husker prepare you for this process?
I mean, I think it over-prepared me. Like, going into the, you know, you spend 6 years here, like, you kind of, like, seems like you know a majority. Like, obviously you don't know everything, but you know the majority of everything. And so when I get to talk with these scouts or whatever, with the teams, and I'm just, you know, I'm not intimidated. Like, I'm confident in myself to know that I can handle ball just as well as you can talk about it. So I think just being able to have that confidence going into those interviews and going out there on the field, you know, competing with who are supposed to be the best in the world, and getting to show and prove to myself and to the world why I belong in the NFL.
You made the decision. You could have gone last year. You made the decision to come back for one more year. How thankful are you for that decision, and you know, setting yourself up for what you're doing now?
Thankful, grateful, blessed, everything. Like, I think that was probably the smartest decision I've ever made. Being able to just, you know, be humble enough to be able to come back and say, I need one more year. You know, everything's going to be okay. Just one more year. We'll make sure that you're nice and ready to go take on the challenge ahead.
All right, last thing I got for you. How about some of these young defensive linemen that are going to try to fill the roles of you and Nash and Jamari? But how excited are you about this group and them taking the reins over for the D-line?
Yeah, I'm super excited, man. I'm confident in all of those guys. You know, I haven't really got a chance to meet all the new guys yet, but I've got a chance to sit down with Coach Braden and, you know, meet him. And, you know, I feel like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he'll be able to handle that room, because that room can get a little crazy sometimes. But, you know, the guys like, you know, Cam, Elijah, and Van Pop, like, I feel very confident, you know, that those guys are going to be able to handle business.
I was going to say, how ready is Riley Van Poppel to be unleashed?
I think he's ready. I think, you know, all of them are ready. You know, finally the old guys are out of here, and now they get to take on most of the snaps and be the guys up next. So we'll see how they do. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Nick, I've told a couple people this, but Ty Robinson was, I think, my second interview that I did when I got here for football. And, you know, just to have been here now for the time from where he was then to now where he is. And I know that he's handling, because he's so smart. Obviously, he's going to be a doctor. And that's even what Garrett Nelson had said, that maybe was holding him back a little bit in the beginning, was overthinking things and overanalyzing things. And he just figured out how to play and do what he does best. But that's the kind of story that you love to cover, that you love to watch and see how a guy progresses to now setting himself up to have a chance to hear his name called pretty high in this year's draft. And I'm assuming you were hoping that he might end up a Bear.
I would love it. He was in a couple of mocks as a Chicago Bear too, late in the draft. So I would be very happy. Weird that he told you he was over-prepared, right? That's just total in true Ty Robinson fashion. But it's an interesting take by Garrett Nelson when you do think of such cerebral players. They're just cerebral in life, and Ty's that way. And there is, I think, something to be said about that, where sometimes you turn an element of the brain off and you just react. It's not trying to anticipate every little thing that's going to happen because there's that whole paralysis by analysis part of it. It's just being able to let loose, trust your instincts. And I think that's where you saw the game reps for Ty Robinson and him only get better, because I think there was probably a lot less overanalyzing each play and each possession and just going off of his college football repetition instincts. And that's going to serve him extremely well. But I think there's the part he just said, that he over-prepared for this when it comes to getting ready for a combine and any type of scouting situation. I don't think there is even such thing as over-preparing, because it's not just what you're doing in the drills, but it's being able to sit down with the teams and going through the meetings and anticipating what might be asked of you. And I think that is a big part of this path for Ty Robinson, where something that has made him stand out in the classroom and that will make him stand out eventually in life is also going to be a huge benefit going through this process. But yeah, you asked the question, would I love to see him in the Navy and orange? You're darn right I would. He would be excellent on the interior there in Chicago.
I've covered a lot of pro days in my career, and I have asked a lot of guys about the process. I think he's the first one to say it's been fun and not that it's been stressful. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, but it seems like he's got the right mindset about it, and he's just enjoying the time. But a lot of guys find it very, very stressful. So, I mean, obviously, that's probably why he can have fun, is because he has, quote unquote, over-prepared. But the more that you get guys like Ty Robinson that you can show his development and then you put him at the next level. I mean, that's what players want when they come here out of the transfer portal, when they come here as high school. They want to see that proof. You know, you have these coaches, this coaching staff that have the NFL ties, and now they're starting to get guys there. I know Isaac Gifford was impressive yesterday. A few guys that are probably going to have a shot. The more you continue to do that, obviously the better your team is on Saturdays. But then you can also keep bringing in that talent that want to be here and be a part, and because you're showing that, hey, the proof is in the pudding. We're getting guys to the next step.
Yeah, and I think Matt Rhule was talking about that even in his press conference, of talking about pro day, but also mentioning certain guys that are in the program right now that, well, we expect him to be an NFL player at this position, or we expect him to be able to develop into the NFL type of player that we knew we recruited. I mean, that's been what Matt Rhule has talked about from day one, and especially the last couple of years, about being able to have that type of player identified in the recruiting stages, but then being able to develop them, because there probably more than 50% of athletes that get recruited to play college football, I would say all of them have been identified as a potential, or even in some cases surefire NFL talent that don't even go on to play at the next level because the development wasn't there, or maybe there were missteps along their own path too. So I think this is that first wave. And I think it was great to see guys like Isaiah Nayor test well, because we know his body, his overall physique, what he can do in that type of setting is going to be very appealing and very attractive to scouts. They're going to see those individual workouts, and they're going to see something there. I think I also look at a guy like Jamal Banks, who is an extremely smooth route runner. Those things, those one-on-one individual type moments, I think are absolute home runs when it comes to these types of settings for a pro day or even for a combine. So it'll be interesting to see who built their stock up the most, because you and I both were surprised that Nash wasn't in the combine, but it sounds like he's another guy that really stood out, and I don't think that surprises any of us.
All right, let's go ahead and get to a break, and maybe we can catch the end of the game. It's in the bottom of the 7th, so 3 outs away from Nebraska taking a win over Omaha. So let's get to a break and get back and maybe check back in with Nate on the other side of this.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
In the heartland, where ambition thrives, there are those who are made and those who are made for more. Just like the Huskers on game day, Kloss, a leading producer of ag equipment, unleashes the power of ambition in the field. Discover why our cutting-edge machinery and unwavering support aren't just a promise, they're a commitment to your success. Because at Kloss, we know you are made for more. Visit your Kloss dealer or CLAAS.com.
Don't miss out on a complete day of activities for the entire family at the 2025 Husker Games presented by FNBO on Saturday, April 26th. The Husker Games will include football activities in Memorial Stadium, a soccer matchup with Wyoming at Hibner Stadium, and spring volleyball match against Kansas at the Devaney Center. You can also participate in a tour of the Osborne Legacy Complex, the Husker Equipment Sale, and a food truck festival. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets. See you on April 26th.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not All Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Not All Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Not All Services. These are the Not All Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Want to boost Nebraska's economy and help the planet? It's as easy as filling up your tank. Switch to soy-based biodiesel to cut greenhouse gases by up to 74% and support biodiesel growth.
I'm Greg Anderson, a farmer near Newman Grove, Nebraska, and biodiesel has transformed our farm. It cuts emissions, raises the cetane number, and improves fuel lubricity.
So ask for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, economy, and Nebraska soybean farmers. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
The signs are everywhere. It's time for Truck Month at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get up to $7,500 cash on F-150 and save on Ford Super Duty. Both part of F-Series, America's best-selling truck lineup for 48 years. Hurry in, folks. These trucks are running. Drive a new Ford F-150 with up to $7,500 cash or 1.9 financing plus $4,750 cash. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I did not make the right call. I tossed it to break thinking maybe we had time, but Jordy was working that fast that during the commercial break, she sits them down 1-2-3, sits down Omaha 1-2-3, and so Nebraska has a big win, 5-0 over the. Are they the Mavs? The women, are they the Mavs too?
Yep. There's no Lady Mavericks or anything. Yeah, they're just the Mavericks. Yeah.
So the Mavs and Jordy, absolutely incredible. Career high as a Husker, 13 strikeouts, just one hit. So another shutout for her. So we're working on getting the final call. Duke and Camden are, since I did not make the right call on this, but that's a great win for Nebraska because Omaha is a team that's solid. They've you and I were talking last week. They've kind of been trickling in there. They're in the maybe top 50, right? So that's a good win for Nebraska here in the midweek.
It's a great win. I mean, to have one of your first midweeks against a team where not only is Omaha extremely talented, given off what they came off of last year and having a core group, especially in the circle back, but there's emotion that comes with that.
Yeah.
I think anytime you're expected to go in and take on the smaller school and a team that is in a mid-major conference compared to the Big Ten, there's pressure there. And so you're expected to go out and perform like that. And when the team like Omaha is as good as they are, and that good for the last 2 years, it comes with unique challenges. So not only are you throwing now that first midweek slate in there, but also trying to figure out, okay, how is our team going to respond to what is going to be a very emotionally charged and highly motivated team in that Omaha dugout? Because anytime, it doesn't matter if Nebraska's having a tough season or having a good season, anytime a team in that dugout takes down Nebraska softball, it's a huge deal, and Nebraska did not succumb to that. They took care of business the way they should have.
Okay, let's keep it on the diamond for now and talk Husker baseball. I know another tough loss last night, but I got a big opportunity. You're not going to be with us tomorrow night because we've got we actually have. I forgot to make this announcement on Monday night, but we have Troy Dannon coming in for his monthly check-in tomorrow night in the 6 o'clock hour. So you're going to have the night off tomorrow. So while you're here, while we're talking about the Diamond Sports, tell us about Oregon State. I mean, this is a big opportunity. Are you sad this game is not being played in California?
I think you know the answer to that one. Oh my gosh! If I do want to say this, as much as I said we were there way too long, I can honestly tell you we did not have one bad meal. I mean, even when we had to settle for Subway, it was still, it hit the spot. So, but there were some great places out there that we ate at. But yes, I'm very happy this is at home. Now I'm hoping Friday night looks gorgeous. We're talking temperatures in the 70s, but then the weekend weather deteriorates a little bit. But this Oregon State team is no joke. 6th-ranked team in the country. Their overall numbers, when I was looking at them earlier today, seeing them win their midweek game against Washington, and they were just defensively dominant in that game, and they're rolling right now. This is a team that I think is a lot more familiar when we were used to seeing this team playing in national championships, winning national championships in Omaha. I mean, it's loaded. Their entire left side of the infield is probably going to be drafted in the first round. Not just drafted, but drafted in the first round. There are names that you're going to be hearing Ben and myself talking about throughout the weekend, hopefully because they're not playing as well as they have all season. But Ava Arquette, who is outstanding. You also have Trent Caraway, who is one of the best left side infielders you're going to see. And between Caraway and Arquette, between shortstop and third base there, those guys are hitting well over 300 right now. And between the two of them, they have 10 combined home runs, and they've both driven in damn near 30 runs. So, and that's just two guys right there. They're hitting at a 296 clip, But, oh, yeah, you got to deal with their pitching. This is the scariest thing about Oregon State, in my opinion. They are throwing a team ERA at a 2.81. That is phenomenal, given the competition that Oregon State has already played. So this is one of those games where, yeah, things aren't going great for Nebraska baseball right now, but this is where I think this fan base is extremely special. You get a Friday night game under the lights, 7 o'clock, against a premier program and a team that's playing up to their preseason ranking, too, and up to the hype that has been there. I mean, this Oregon State team is, as I mentioned, just gave you some of their numbers right there. This is where I think this fan base shows out, and this is where I think they at least provide the guys with that little extra adrenaline, that little extra belief that they can play. And this is the thing about Nebraska right now. They played a similar team in the second game of the year, coming off of that loss in the opening game of the season to UC Irvine. All of a sudden, you've got this just unbelievable amount of emotion with the passing of our dear friend Greg Sharp. So the team's dealing with that. We're all dealing with that. And then, oh, yeah, you're on MLB Network that night. There's scouts all over that place. You're playing a premier program like Vanderbilt, and Nebraska wins it. So this is where I do think that crowd, that support Friday night is going to be huge if Nebraska wants to have success this weekend.
Speaking of that, we do need to get to a break, but how cool was the gesture by Kansas State last night, having the Sharp family out to throw out the first pitch? Emily had on her Nebraska gear, and Taylor had on Kansas State. Obviously, they have ties to Kansas State, too. That was just such a neat gesture.
It was amazing, and I was listening between the radio broadcast with Ben and David, and then a few times my son wanted to watch the game, so we had the TV broadcast on, and they spent. I'm mad at myself because I completely forgot the color analyst's name on ESPN Plus, but I know he knew Greg really well. They spent almost 2 innings talking about all these great stories with Greg, and so it was really cool, and it was to be expected, I think, just knowing how much Greg cared for that program, that university, and being an alum there and getting really started there, and then obviously how much he bled Husker red as well. I think that was a very special moment, and just another reminder of how much we truly miss him, but also how much he truly had an impact on so many people, even outside of the Husker fan base.
Yeah, I still don't know how he timed a show so well. He would have made the right call on getting Nate on the air live to get the call on the air, and I messed it up.
He did it for so long. I mean, this is instincts for old Sharpie.
I know, and I thought a lot of him over the weekend with Husker wrestling because he loved. We talked about Husker wrestling. We would text about it all the time, and so I know he was super happy for Mark Manning and Husker wrestling too. So I mean, it's like almost every day still. But all right, let's get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
In the game of life, we all step up to the plate. Sometimes it feels like we're facing a curveball with no clear path. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the 9th inning. Reach out, speak up, and let's strike out life's challenges together. Because we're more than players, we're a resilient community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every swing, every slide. Play ball. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Don't miss out on a complete day of activities for the entire family at the 2025 Husker Games presented by FNBO on Saturday, April 26th. The Husker games will include football activities in Memorial Stadium, a soccer matchup with Wyoming at Hibner Stadium, and spring volleyball match against Kansas at the Devaney Center. You can also participate in a tour of the Osborne Legacy Complex, the Husker Equipment Sale, and a food truck festival. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets. See you on April 26th.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices.
I'm Ann Neese, a farmer near Elgin, Nebraska. I grew up on this land, and we're dedicated to being good stewards and leaving it better for the next generation.
Since 1980, U.S. soybean farmers have boosted production by 130%, all while lowering emissions and improving land and water use. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
In the game of life, we all step up to the plate. Sometimes it feels like we're facing a curveball with no clear path. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the ninth inning. Reach out, speak up, and let's strike out life's challenges together. Because we're more than players, we're a resilient community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every swing, every slide. Play ball. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
The pitch. And it's chopped to the pitcher. Ball has it. Throws to first. In time to Bacon to polish off the one-hitter. In Jordy Ball's return to her hometown, she shows her best side, her best work in the circle. Nebraska with a 5-0 shutout win over the Omaha Mavericks. A one-hit shutout for Jordy Ball, 5 RBI for Olivia DiNardo, and the Huskers down their in-state foes.
There it is, the winning call from Nate Rohr as the Huskers knock off the Mavs of Omaha 5-0, and just a stellar performance from Jordy Ball once again in the circle, 13 strikeouts. Here is What's on Tap, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Just in the previous segment, Nick was talking about the 3-game series with number 5 Oregon State for Nebraska baseball Friday, 7 o'clock Saturday, 2 o'clock Sunday, noon. And the guys will be on the air for the pregame show 30 minutes prior to each first pitch. For men's basketball, they have played their first game in the Crown basketball tournament in Vegas against Arizona State, 7:30 on Monday night. We'll have the pregame show for you here at 6:30 on Monday night. And I wanted to say this because, Nick, we got about a minute left, but softball is playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 1 o'clock on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, 4 o'clock on Monday. And I asked you why, and you actually have the insight to that, why it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, because I asked the exact same question this last weekend when I saw that, and it's because Big Ten Network is trying to have this unique Monday slot for conference softball. So you're going to see teams throughout the Big Ten that are going to have this Saturday, Sunday, Monday series where they can have the Monday game showcased on BTN. So kind of a cool little window to showcase softball in the conference.
Yeah, and there's, as we talked about earlier, there's some really, really good softball teams in this conference. So I'm sure that's they want to get them on the network. Again, that is What's on Tap, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. We got a whole nother hour headed your way. We're going to talk some men's basketball. Fred Hoiberg met with the media today. I got a chance to chat one-on-one with Bryce Williams. We're also going to talk some Husker football as spring practice is underway. Here from the running back, Emitt Johnson. So lots to come. Keep it here. Come on back here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Huskers fans, let's call a timeout on the court and in life. When the game gets tough, Nebraska stands together as a family, as a team. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. You're part of the Husker family, and every member is valued on and off the court. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. The Nebraska bowling team was selected as the second seed for the 2025 NCAA Bowling Regionals to begin postseason competition and will travel to Pittsburgh. Nebraska will be joined by number 6 Arkansas State, number 10 Marville, Kutztown, and Fayetteville State in the Pittsburgh Regional. Competition for the Huskers will take place on Friday, April 4th and Saturday, April 5th. Nebraska men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg announced today that point guard Raleigh Rooster will not play in the Crown Tournament next week. Center Braxton Meal was also announced as questionable in the upcoming game against Arizona State on Monday. In the NFL, free agent quarterback Russell Wilson has signed with the New York Giants on a 2-year deal. He looks to compete with the starting job and help bring the Giants back to the playoffs. 6 games in the NBA tonight, including Clippers at Knicks, Pacers hosting the Lakers, Bucks versus the Nuggets, and the Celtics against the Suns. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Hedges set. The 3-2 offering. Bouncer up the middle, into center field for a base hit. Cotton scores. Here comes Frost to score. And Devin Nunez, the biggest hit of the Husker 2025 season, gives Nebraska a 6-5 lead in the ninth. Righty Sousa steps on and delivers to the lefty Hoffman. And Hoffman swings and drives it deep right field and gone! 5th home run of the year for Casey Hoffman. And a 5-0 lead for Nebraska.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Nick Hanley, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly, hour number 2. First hour just flew by. That was a fun hour. We got another fun hour coming up. We'll talk some basketball, some football, and maybe some Husker games. Maybe some news on that. But Nick, before we got too far into talking hoops, Art in Los Angeles, your bestie apparently, after spending so much time in California, said, Jessica, I agree with Nick. The food here in LA is really good. Does he like hot dogs? If he does, what does he put on them? In honor of Greg, I have to ask this question, GBR.
Okay, well, I know Greg's was an easy go-to for him. It was always
ketchup, right?
Ketchup.
Yeah.
It was just ketchup. Yep. And then he always had to have a box of M&Ms next to him because we'd get the voucher. Our media meal at Haymarket was always the voucher, and so we would just stay right there in the press box. We wouldn't have to go down there, and he'd grab a hot dog, and then he'd have a box of M&Ms. For me, so this is the Chicago fan in me, if you will. I am nothing more than mustard. I do not put ketchup on my hot dogs. I don't know if I've even done that in the last 25 years. Probably when I got into high school, I quit putting ketchup on my hot dogs. So I'm a mustard. On occasion, if they're chopped extremely fine, I will put a little bit of onions on there too.
All right, there you have it. Everybody does it's so crazy. Everybody does their hot dog differently. I don't eat hot dogs, so I can't answer that question, but everybody does it differently. Ben says he mixes it up because he gets sick of the same hot dog fixins.
Yeah, not for me. Like I'll put when I go to Chicago, for instance. I mean, it's an entire garden on the hot dog. You've got tomatoes on the hot dog, not ketchup. They will not put ketchup. In fact, you will get run out of the state of Illinois if you put ketchup on your hot dog. But they'll put tomato on it, a pickle on it, and all kinds of. I mean, whatever you can grow in a vegetable, they will put on the hot dog. Just not ketchup. It's absolutely sacrilegious to put ketchup on a hot dog in Chicago.
Wow, did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk some Nebraska basketball. Coach Hoiberg met with the media today, and several things came out of that press conference, but they're preparing to play in the Crown, and, it starts on Monday night in Vegas, and there's a big push for this basketball tournament, and he's very complimentary of the folks putting it on and the marketing, the promotions that are going on behind it. But you get a sense, and we're going to hear from Bryce Williams here coming up, that even though this is a team that was wanting to play in the NCAA tournament, it seems like they're pretty fired up for this opportunity.
I was taken back by that as well, Jessica. I thought his demeanor was one of excitement for this opportunity. And I think it goes beyond what you and I discussed when we knew that this was final, and that is the type of NIL payment that you get and how that could go into your collective and obviously be a huge benefit. But I think, again, when you look at this field, and even though these were teams that were either bubble teams or teams that faltered down the stretch and weren't even on the bubble there in the final weekend, there are programs, real notable programs. You and I were talking about Villanova, Butler in there, so a lot of Big East representation, USC, and even Arizona State. So you're seeing some of the old Pac-12 and the new Big Ten, and then Georgetown, which is a program that I think has the right coach there that could be on the rise. And even Boise State, a team that felt that they probably could have been in the NCAA tournament if a couple things had gone their way with the committee. So I think it's a real interesting collection. Even Cincinnati in there, and DePaul with now a new coach, what they might be trying to do. So I think there are interesting stories, and it's going to be interesting to see where I think this entire field is a year from now on how many of these teams are actually in the NCAA tournament. But, yeah, your observation, I'm right there with you as far as the overall enthusiasm that they had. And I thought it was interesting when Fred talked about when he sat with his leadership group, the leaders of the team, that is, and they didn't hesitate. When he brought up, hey, what do you guys want to do? We'll have a postseason opportunity. What do you guys want to do? And they said, absolutely, yeah, we want to play. We want to play. Like, there was no hesitation whatsoever. So I think that also says a lot about Fred still having the ear of this team, and I think even the veterans, because we saw this with Nebraska football in the COVID year when they had a chance to play in a bowl game because everybody was going to be bowl eligible because of everything they went through, that there were quite a few people in that locker room that said they did not want to play a bowl game. I think when you have been hit in the mouth the way Nebraska was at the end of this season and coming up short in those one-score games, that can be dejecting. And knowing that you were a shoo-in to make the NCAA tournament at one point, and then all of a sudden just in really a week and a half's time that you are fighting for your postseason lives, that could take a lot out of a team. And the fact that this team still wants to be together and they still want to play in the postseason, I think says a lot about the leadership there, starting with Fred Hoiberg, but also a group that I think is still a little bit more bonded than I think maybe a lot of people figured after what they went through.
And, we're going to hear from one of the leaders here, Bryce Williams, that you were talking about, that leadership group. But you know what competitors like to do, no matter where they're playing, they like to win and win trophies. And they've already won one this season, and they like that taste. And so that's exactly what Bryce Williams told me. He's like, I want to win another trophy here for Nebraska, no matter where it is. So here is that conversation with Bryce Williams. Here with all Big Ten, Bryce Williams as the Huskers preparing for the crown in Vegas. How was the past couple of weeks for you? Did you get some rest? How's the body feeling going into this postseason tournament?
Got a little bit of rest. Body feels good. Kind of juiced up. Ready to bounce back. We get a few wins, play for a championship.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had a chance to talk to you since the selection came out for the All Big Ten. The top 5 guys in this Big Ten conference. What did it mean to you to hear your name called as a part of that selection?
It meant a lot. True testimony to hard work and faith. I'm tremendously blessed. But it was just a great accolade to have.
What went into this year? We've talked to you along the way, but for you to be consistently scoring the way that you did and to basically be leading the conference all year long, what went into that for you to be able to really take a step in your game offensively this year?
Really just overall mentality, just aggressiveness. Credit to my teammates, they I wouldn't be able to do it without them. The screens they set, the passes they make, and kind of sometimes the shots they make that opens it up for me. It's really a testament to everything and everything coming together and working out for the greater good.
I know you're excited to play a few more games in this uniform, but being that you've left and your name's all over the record books and you're being talked about as one of the best Huskers to ever wear the uniform, what does that mean to you, the impact that you've been able to make here in your time here as a Husker?
It means a lot to me. It means so much to me. I kind of can't even put it into words. I've been here for 2 years, and, you know, it seems like I've done so much. Didn't accomplish every goal I wanted to, but, you know, I enjoyed my time here as a Husker, and I played hard. I worked hard. It's kind of, like I said, a testimony to the work I put in.
Okay, so you guys, I know that the goal was to get to the NCAA tournament, but you still have a chance to play in a postseason tournament. What was the messaging with the group, the team, when you get this opportunity to still play?
Well, we get the opportunity to still play, and that's a blessing in itself. So, I mean, we're playing in another tournament that's just right there under NCAA tournament, and nobody really wants to be done. The message was really just to, you know, take a little break, take a couple days off, and then lock back in, be ready to play, come ready to play. Yeah, that's just the message, just to be all on the ship together.
So you guys have been practicing. How have you liked the way that the team has come back and responded following maybe a disappointing end to the season?
You know, everybody's just banding together, all moving on one accord. Practices, you know, we're just competing. We're competing really hard. We're playing really hard. We're having intense practices. So, you know, I'm enjoying it.
What does it say about this group that, I mean, a lot of teams might not have wanted to continue, but this group wanted to have another opportunity to play together no matter what it was?
Shows the resilience, shows the brotherhood, shows that we're all here for one real reason, which is to win, which is to compete for championships. So, I mean, not everybody wants to do it. I know sometimes people just want to, you know, end the season and move on with their lives, or maybe just get ready for next season and focus on themselves. But, you know, we wanted more. It was more on the plate, and we wanted to finish it.
So what's gone into these past couple of weeks? You didn't know your opponent until, you know, obviously there's a week in between. So what have you guys done to be able to continue to get better here before going to play in this tournament?
We really just focused on ourselves, focused on our own objectives, team objectives. When we handle what we were supposed to handle, we usually come out on top. So we kind of just been getting back to the basics and tightening a few loose screws, and that's really it.
Okay, so this matchup with Arizona State, what are you guys seeing as you dive into the film? What are going to be the keys in this matchup?
Really just got to be physical, got to rebound, and just come ready to compete. That's really it.
How excited are you to play in Vegas in this first-time opportunity? I mean, they're putting a lot of hype behind this tournament.
Yeah, I'm excited to play in Vegas. My last time being in Vegas was for AAU, and I was like 15.
Did you win?
Did we win that? No, we didn't win that tournament. We won in New York. But, I mean, it was a fun time. It's going to be a fun time, but it's also going to be a business trip. So, you know, just got to keep the main thing the main thing.
How important is this to have a good performance for, you know, you're done in a uniform, but for those guys coming back, how important is that kind of momentum? Because you played in a postseason tournament in the NIT, and were able to get a lot of confidence from that. So what can this team, this group take forward with this?
You know, it's momentum in the next season. It's getting yourselves out there to be seen. I mean, this brings a lot of. It's just I don't know. I can't really answer that. I don't know how to. I just know that it's a big deal. We're playing for a championship. It really shows your character, your team morale. It shows a lot of things for the team heading back into the next season.
So if anybody's questioning the want-to by this is a group that's hungry to go play some games and maybe have another chance at a trophy.
Yep, this is a team that's hungry, a team that wants to play for a championship for sure.
And then last thing I got for you, just you're now being talked about. I know scouts, you've got a lot of attention for the next level and being talked about in that regard. How has this staff, your time here in a Husker uniform, helped prepare you for that, where you are getting these kinds of accolades and the potential next step at the next level?
Just coaching me, pushing me, and holding me accountable. Being honest with me, telling me what I need to do, telling me what I need to stop doing, where I need to grow at, everything. So, you know, this staff has really done a good job putting me in the best position to be successful on and off the court, and helped me grow personally and as a basketball player. So, you know, I can't thank them enough for that. With everything that's to come, I know they prepared me, and, you know, I'm ready.
All right, so what are you hoping to do in your last, hopefully, few games in a Husker uniform?
Raise a trophy over my head. That's the thing I want to do the most, raise a trophy over my head.
Awesome, great stuff. Appreciate your time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
And Bryce Williams there, got a chance to chat with him following practice. And you could tell, I was talking to him before we were recording that interview, he was tired. They have been working, this group has. It's not like they took the week off. I mean, they got back in the gym and they've been putting in the work. And I mean, I can't, I know I said this earlier, but I just get a sense that this is a team that really has some unfinished business and want to get some things right. For a lot of these guys, too, their last time in a Husker uniform being that they didn't do some of the goals that they originally set out to do. They want to maybe right that wrong a little bit here with this opportunity.
I love the tone of Bryce Williams, and I'd be really curious to know if the other teams involved in this have a similar sense of urgency and excitement and just anticipation with this tournament that Nebraska clearly does, hearing from Fred Hoiberg and then right there with Bryce Williams. I think it's refreshing, and I think it's also interesting. The first question you asked is, how's everybody feeling? Did you get any rest? Did you get a chance to get off your feet a little bit? And he said a little bit. And I think that's maybe one of the things that this team needed more than anything was a chance to hit reset for a moment, to be able to maybe get away from basketball just for a moment and set your focus on something that obviously means a lot to this team, and that is just winning another trophy. I know Fred had talked about how much it meant to win in Hawaii and that they wanted to do that again, and Brice brings that up. There's that part of that competitor that you brought up earlier, Jessica, that you're never going to lose that. It's just, what is your overall, your faculties going into it? If Nebraska, say, gets down 12-4 early in that game against Arizona State, you almost feel like they would be much more equipped to take that on now because of a little bit of that reset that I think they've had and the way that they're looking at this thing. It's an interesting mindset. It's one that you don't typically see if you're in the NITs of the world or the CBIs. It's not that these student athletes, whether we're talking about men or women, they don't want to compete at the same level that they're competing all year. But it's when you go through that first adversity in a game, do you have that same type of drive that you would have in the regular season or in a conference tournament setting, as opposed to a tournament that just quite frankly doesn't mean as much to the outside world as the NCAA tournament means. And the tone of this team between Fred and what I heard right there from Brice, it's a really good message. And we know with the injuries, we heard Duke say it during the ticker of Raleigh Worcester, and we'll see about Braxton Mia. They're going to be down a guy with no question that's going to impact them. But you also have now Brice most likely handling the basketball, and obviously Aaron Eulis can do that as well, and even Sam Hoiberg. But I think that excites me now knowing that Brice is going to be kind of the primary ball handler in this as well. There's just a lot of intriguing things as we get closer to Monday night with the Crown and how Nebraska factors into it.
And because it's on different nights, mostly from the NCAA tournament, and it's transfer portal season. It's open, and it's crazy. I mean, I can't even keep up with the numbers. And so I think over 2,000 now that have entered the portal, and I think over 1,700 or 1,800 just from Division I. I saw another stat that said 40% of the players that are starters for their final or for the Sweet 16 teams were transfer portal guys. So, I mean, it's the day and age that we're in, but there's going to be some people that, hey, there's not college basketball on tonight with the NCAA tournament. Let me turn on this Crown and see what this is all about. So here's another opportunity to maybe sell a program to come play, to come be a part of it. So you're always looking for those opportunities. I know that they were hard at work on just trying to figure out what needs they maybe need, and over the last couple of weeks, and you heard Coach Hoiberg saying we got to get better. We're not going to miss out on the NCAA tournament again. That's not something that we don't want that to be a reoccurrence. So they're going to get to work and do what they need to do. They're going to have to do it one man down on the staff, though, a lot of these things here over these next couple of weeks, because Coach Hoiberg did confirm that Adam Howard has accepted a job at NC State. And so Peyton Borders, who's been the recruiting coordinator, he's going to take over and step into that role. You talked about not great timing, but, Coach Howard is from that area. His wife's from that area. They're more from the South. Great family. Coach Hoiberg said great opportunity for them to get back closer to family. But, so in addition to trying to tackle a tournament, playing in a postseason tournament, and the transfer portal, now he's going to be looking to hire a new assistant as well. Coach Hoiberg's got his hands full.
And, he said something during the press conference that I 100% agree with him on, and that is, what are we doing with this transfer portal thing? This is the exact same thing the college football coaches are dealing with during the bowl season. This is ridiculous. You cannot have these teams in the middle of postseason, think about the Sweet 16 teams and the Elite 8 teams and the teams getting ready for a Final Four. Sure, you're not going to cue the violin for those teams because they made it that far, but those coaches and still having to think about the following year when they're trying to stay present in the moment of what their team has accomplished in the NCAA tournament, yet you still have to worry about the transfer portal and you have to worry about being able to bolster up your roster, trying to figure out after your run who is still going to be there or not. I thought Fred is absolutely right. After the Final Four is when this window needs to open up. I just think it's ridiculous. Just like I did in December when teams are getting ready for bowl preparation and you have half of your staff that's trying to recruit and trying to figure out the transfer portal and who they need to get, while the other half is trying to get these guys ready for whatever bowl game they have or a college football playoff. To me, it's absolutely absurd, and how we could not have seen this coming is just absolutely beside me.
You know what else needs to change is the windows that you hire coaches. That's also has really perturbed me over the last few weeks, that you've got coaches that are trying to coach teams in the NCAA tournament, and all they're getting asked about is if they're taking this other job, because obviously there's people that want to get it right or put out, that, hey, I've got an inside scoop on social media, and just that, which also plays into the transfer portal issues as well when these coaches are leaving, and then players want to leave if their coach is leaving. But I think that needs to be, if that can be something that can be addressed too, is that you can't make hires for programs until the tournament's over too, because that's a huge distraction as well.
Yeah, it's a serious distraction. I think that's what I get so fired up about, is it's almost as if this sneaks up on the NCAA and the powers that be, and then they're like, then they become reactionary to it as opposed to being proactive. This tournament has always been, we're talking about the NCAA tournament, has always been at the same time.
What? They didn't shift it this year?
Right, yes. It's not like, we moved it up 3 weeks. Come on. And the bowl season has always been in December. And the college football playoff, the expanded playoff is something new. But you always knew that time period that some of your most high-profile games are going to be taking place. Yet it's like, I guess now we need to look at it. Well, think about some of those teams that got gutted and all those coaches that had so many distractions because of guys leaving their team and then also trying to divert their attention from preparing their teams for postseason while they're trying to also get their roster right for the next year. It's absolutely idiotic. I have no problem saying it. It's idiotic. And to now start thinking, now we need to do something about this. Why didn't anybody see this coming in the first place? I hate when coaches have to go up and be the advocates for this because they're the ones that are on the worst end of it. Even the most successful coaches that are getting ready to play national championships, I'm sure would rather be living in that moment as opposed to getting ready for, we got a Zoom call before we have our shoot around with a guy that we would like to bring in next year. So we need to make sure we get and talk to them and give them our best sales pitch. And then let's go focus on our current team that's playing for a national championship. That is just absolute crap, in my opinion.
I think Nick needs to find some passion or some care about the transfer portal window. We'll let you. We need to get to a break. We'll let you go get some water, maybe take a few breaths.
Thank you.
A little bit here over the next couple minutes. So, good stuff there. Let's get to a break. On the other side of this, we're going to hear from Emitt Johnson, running back, as the Huskers have hit the field for spring football. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Nebraska Lottery.
Hi, I heard Cash Blast is back.
Yes, sir. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled.
You guys are great.
Thanks, but we think our players are greater.
No, you're greater.
No, you're greater.
Well, if you insist.
2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraska soybeans power everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Skechers shoes to soy-based turf and fire suppressants. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for every product and everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
In the game of life, we all step up to the plate. Sometimes it feels like we're facing a curveball with no clear path. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the ninth inning. Reach out, speak up, and let's strike out life's challenges together. Because we're more than players, we're a resilient community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every swing, every slide. Play ball. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
The signs are everywhere. It's time for Truck Month at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get $3,000 cash on Super Duty and save on Ford F-150. Both part of F-Series, America's best-selling truck lineup for 48 years. Hurry in, folks. These trucks are running. Drive a new Ford Super Duty with $3,000 cash or 1.9% financing. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. It is the first week of spring football practice. We're going to have another availability day tomorrow. Actually, we'll be open a little bit for the media, folks of the media, for the first portion of practice. But I did get a chance to catch up with running back Emitt Johnson, now the old guy in that room, to see how things are progressing with the running backs and with this offense. All right, here with running back Emitt Johnson. Well, how does it feel to be back out on the field?
Yeah, it feels amazing just, being out there with my teammates and playing the game that I love. It feels amazing to be back out there.
You've now been through this now a couple of times with this staff. Overall, how did the offseason, the mat drills, all of that leading up to the first practice, how did it go for this team?
It went great. I feel like we're a lot farther than we were the past 2 years, and we got a special group of players, and everybody's coming along. The younger guys are coming along really well. we just got a great team that's really tough, and that's what you're going to see this year.
How did it feel different going into this time around, coming off the bowl game and the bowl win?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time for the whole program going to a bowl game. It felt great, but we're really hungry, and we're not just satisfied with going to a bowl game. We're trying to win a national championship. So it feels good, but we're really hungry right now.
Did it fuel you, though? Did it fuel you guys, though, getting that taste of winning in the postseason going into the offseason?
Yeah, it definitely did. A lot of the guys who went out there on the trip, some of the younger guys who got to go out there and see what it was like. And then we got like a younger group of guys trying to lead now. So that's been big in the offseason is the younger guys leading. And now we got a special group of players that are really athletic and talented. And we all been bonding really well. So.
Speaking of leadership, you're now one of the older guys. How has that been for you, kind of transitioning into being one of the older voices in the room?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, honestly. Time flew really quick. But I would definitely say just being able to help the younger guys is big for me because I was once them. So being able to give back to them and also just be a leader is great for me in my career.
How do you feel different coming off the season that you had where you really got things going at the end and were the guy? How did you carry, or how are you trying to carry that over into this?
Yeah, I'm still hungry. I'm still trying to be the best running back in the country. Going out there every day trying to prove myself. So I'm still hungry. It feels great, but I'm still trying to be the best Emmett I can be.
A lot of new faces in that running back room. Tell us about that group, and are you as excited about that room as you have been in the past?
Yeah, we got a lot of younger guys. JP, Connor Booth, those guys that came in, and then Quinton Ives and Makai Nelson, Kenneth as well. A young group, a special group, guys that can do a little bit of everything, catch the ball at the backfield and run the ball really well. So it's been fun working with them and just coaching some of them up has been great.
What are some of the keys that you guys are trying to instill for the running backs here in spring football?
Just to dominate, in all phases of the game, whether it's running the ball, pass pro, catching the ball at the backfield, just, being a line on the field.
There's been a lot of talk of this offensive line and how it's been building, and you got a lot of guys that have had some experience coming back. You added a couple guys. How excited are you about that group that's going to be blocking for you?
I'm really excited, along with, Rocco and Pritchett transferring in. We got some guys who play a lot of football, and they got a great bond in the O-line room, too, as well. So they know how much we appreciate them, and they're going to be big for us going into the season. It's making my job easier. Hopefully I can make their job easy, too.
Last year you had put on some weight. You did some work on your body. What's the goals this year for yourself, throughout this time before you hit the field for fall camp?
I put on I just met with a nutritionist. I put on about 8 pounds of muscle, so that's good. But just I've gotten faster as well, not just stronger. So I think it'll be definitely a fun season for me.
You and Dylan have been all over the place, going to some high school basketball games. How has that been building that relationship, and how important is that quarterback running back?
It's extremely important. Me and Dylan kind of just wanted to give back to the community, go out and support them because they come and support us on Saturdays. So it's just our way of giving back to them. And me and Dylan, we think alike in a lot of ways. So we kind of just had that bond, and it kind of grew over time. And now, it's going to translate to the field.
How have you seen him transition into, now that he's a second-year guy, being more of a leader and a vocal guy?
Yeah, he's gotten a lot more, confident. He's kind of seen what it's like to play in the Big Ten. He's seen a lot of things now, and he kind of took that next step now. He's being a leader. As you can see, he's out there throwing right now. He's out there being vocal, helping the quarterbacks out. So he's grown, and I'm really excited to play with him this year.
You got a taste of what it's like being in Dana Holgerson's system, which obviously he's going to utilize you a lot, a running back catching the football. But what excites you the most now that you've had some time with him and you guys are getting into spring ball with Coach Holgerson? I'll
say the most exciting part about Coach Holgerson's offense is that it fits me really well, and it fits our team really well. We got a lot of explosive players, and I think we're going to put up a lot of points this year. Matter of fact, I know we're going to put up a lot of points this year. So that's just credit, to him. But we just got to buy into it and make sure that we finish everything, whether if it's in the red zone, whether if it's just going to class, finishing homework, whatever it is. Finish has been an emphasis for us this all season.
Being that you guys have now, got to the bowl game and won, and this time around, how do the team goals change and what you guys want to accomplish here over these next couple of months in spring football?
Yeah, it changes, like I said, because we're really hungry. Bowl game was fun, but we're trying to win a national championship. We're not just playing to be in a bowl game, so we kind of got to take that next step and work like we're trying to win a national championship.
Has it felt different, though, with this team and just, the expectations and what you guys want to accomplish from day to day?
Yes, it has. Like I said, everybody's taking that next step, and we're farther along than we were in previous years. Not as much as corrections that we had to do in the past. I think everybody's buying into it, and that's going to make a great team come fall time.
Awesome. Great stuff. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
Always love talking to Emitt Johnson. He's the guy. I mean, he's no doubt going to be, the number one back in that room going into spring football. I mean, I know no starters have been named, obviously, but he's the guy with the experience, and we saw him really emerge once Dana Holgorsen took over this offense. But that room is fascinating to me to see who's going to maybe emerge. I know Quentin Ives, they love what they saw out of him last year and how he continued to develop. But I didn't do all the stats, Nick, but I know that, so total, Emmett had just under 600 rushing yards and a touchdown, and just under 300 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. And a lot of the major bulk of those receiving yards came once Dana Holgorsen took over in this offense. And he was a guy that I immediately thought, Emmett fits what Dana likes to do. And as much as people want to say, oh, it's the air raid, right. Dana Holgorsen loves to utilize the running backs, whether it be handing the football, but also passing, giving them opportunities in the passing game. And Emitt Johnson is a guy that he can utilize in both of those areas.
I think you're right, and I think that there's always a interesting concept of certain running backs that might be in favor with previous coaches on the style that they want to lean on, and then we saw this a little bit with Emitt Johnson, where Emitt Johnson with the Scott Frost staff was always kind of in and out of the lineup, and it wasn't necessarily always because of injuries too. It was, is he big enough to run between the tackles? We knew that he was good catching the ball out of the backfield. And given his size, Emitt Johnson was actually one of the better pass blockers, too. So in pass pro, he was actually really solid. But it was that inability, at least to that staff, it felt they couldn't run him in between the tackles. Well, then you always had that merry-go-round. I remember so many times this year thinking, we're not seeing Emitt Johnson as regularly, or we're not seeing him as consistently. And then you'd see one guy, and then you'd see a couple flashes here. And then you'd also wonder, okay, well, won't he playing as much? And you're right. As far as I think just the type of guy Holgorsen is looking for, it's having that more completeness, or I would say every down back. But I don't think you're going to be on the field if you're not someone that is going to be at least somewhat of a threat to not only catch the ball out of the backfield, but to make plays out of it. And I think he has shown that next to a guy like we think of Emitt Johnson. I think both of those guys, amongst that group of running backs they had a year ago, really checked that box. And is it any wonder we saw Emitt have the type of game he did in the Pinstripe Bowl and the type of effectiveness that Emitt Johnson had? Emitt Johnson, first of all, he's easy to root for as well, because he is, as you play that interview right there, is one of the most appreciative guys. The fact that he and Dylan are around the community, and for him to say they do that because everybody comes out and supports them on Saturdays, so they want to give back. I feel like Emitt Johnson, for a guy that has done enough of that already, you would think, okay, I did my part. Now I'm just going to concentrate, put my head down and concentrate on football. But no, it's just part of his fabric. That's part of his DNA. That's a great dude, an easy dude to root for right there. I'm excited for him to take it to the next level, though, because I think there are improvements that he's probably looking to make when it comes to pass pro. Reasons that he's going to be on the field even that much more this year than he was a year ago. Yes, because of Dana Holgorsen, but also because he has made those jumps in a lot of the areas that he was very close into being that complete running back, but maybe missing a thing here or there when it came to just that overall completeness. And then I did think it was interesting when Matt Rule, speaking of the running backs, did bring up a guy, because I always feel like Matt Rule will give you a player sort of in passing, whether it's in early fall or in spring. He'll mention them just in passing. He won't get into much details. But did you find it interesting that he brought up Mekhi Nelson?
They brought him up last year.
Explosive speed.
Yeah.
Yes, and the speed element. And isn't that the one area that we've kind of looked at in the running back of, you really want that burner, that guy that just separates himself in the second level? Is he hinting that maybe Mekhi Nelson could be that type of guy?
I know that Coach Holgorsen is also a big fan of Mekhi Nelson, and that he's been a guy that they've been talking about going back to the end of last season. I think he really started to emerge in practice. So, yeah, I think he's a guy that we're going to see a lot of. And that's what I think is so intriguing, is they've got a talented room. We just don't know a lot about them, what they can do at this level. So that's where I think it'll be fun to watch, to see how the spring develops, because we know what Emmett can do. And yes, he has some improvements that he needs to make. But the competition between the other guys that have not had the same amount of opportunities and those young freshmen that they're really excited about, the true freshmen, and then the guys that now have been around and been a part of the program, now they might get some more opportunities. It's going to be fascinating to see how that race unfolds throughout spring into fall camp. But we've got to get to a break. We've went a little long, so we're going to come back and talk a little bit more Husker football coming up on the other side of this.
If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens.
I'm Jason Pinky, a farmer near Craig, Nebraska. Soybeans are vital for feeding our livestock, and they're also a powerhouse protein source for people worldwide. Our world needs protein, and Nebraska soybeans are making a difference.
From tailgate grills to global plates, farmers deliver affordable, nutritious protein to build muscle and energy for everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
The signs are everywhere. It's time for Truck Month at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get up to $7,500 cash on F-150 and save on Ford Super Duty. Both part of F-Series, America's best-selling truck lineup for 48 years. Hurry in, folks. These trucks are running. Drive a new Ford F-150 with up to $7,500 cash or 1.9 financing plus $4,750 cash. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers. Driven by value.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarman Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Want to boost Nebraska's economy and help the planet? It's as easy as filling up your tank. Switch to soy-based biodiesel to cut greenhouse gases by up to 74% and support biodiesel growth.
I'm Greg Anderson, a farmer near Newman Grove, Nebraska, and biodiesel has transformed our farm. It cuts emissions, raises the cetane number, and improves fuel lubricity.
So ask for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, economy, and Nebraska soybean farmers. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
The signs are everywhere. It's time for Truck Month at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get $3,000 cash on Super Duty and save on Ford F-150. Both part of F-Series, America's best-selling truck lineup for 48 years. Hurry in, folks. These trucks are running. Drive a new Ford Super Duty with $3,000 cash or 1.9% financing. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. We just got a couple quick segments left for you here tonight. So we were talking about the running backs previous or in the last segment, and I heard me ask Emmett about him and Dylan have been everywhere together. I mean, if you go to the training table, a lot of times they're eating together. In fact, just a few minutes ago, I saw them walking into the facility together. They've been developing that relationship, and I think it's been, you could tell, and obviously on the sidelines, I got a really up-close vantage point of it, but he's just so well respected, Dylan is, by this team, and he has been from the start. But now you're hearing about how he's becoming more comfortable and being more of a leader. And I think it's so impressive because he's pretty young, still. He's just a sophomore. He's a true sophomore. And just to hear some of these older guys really raving about the job he's doing as a leader, goes to show you that he's the real deal. And he's going to continue to get better and better in all phases of what he does for this football team.
Well, and Matt Rule said about it. I know that's been a topic on the chat as well, and a lot of people around this team or following this team have talked about how good he looks right now, because that was something that Matt Rule had talked about, how as a freshman, all the freshmen are going to get used to the regimen and how they take care of their bodies, and they wanted Dylan to also be a part of that. And Matt Rule's comments of 240 were taken out of context, as he clarified. He didn't say Dylan was 240. He said he didn't want him to get to 240. And if anybody who has seen him, you just saw him walking in, you can tell the guy's been putting in work. His body looks good. The feet, I'm assuming, are going to follow with that as well. I think this is the type of guy he wanted to be a year ago when it comes to that leadership standpoint. But I think as any true freshman, you always want to pick your battles. You don't know if you're going to be accepted and everyone's going to listen to you as a true freshman. So I think that was a tough one there for Dylan. But I think he always wanted to be that guy even a year ago, because I think that's just his instinct, is to be that natural leader. Now there's no excuses. He was the guy last year, and now there's no doubt that he's the guy this year. And so he's gonna lead away. And I think he's in a much better position to do so this year.
I've kind of been like, I don't know how to say this nicely, but it's like, okay, I think we're getting a little caught up on the weights and measurements for Dylan. I feel like it's all I'm seeing right now.
He looks good, though. He looks different for sure. But yeah, he wasn't 240. He wasn't like Jared Lorenzen, rest in peace, the old Pillsbury throwboy from Kentucky. He wasn't some out-of-shape hack that was going to throw the football, yes. But was there improvements he could make on his body? Yeah, like every freshman. So,
yeah, every player in this football program. We just heard Emmett say he put on 8 pounds of muscle.
Exactly. You're never done. So, yeah. It's because he's the quarterback. It's going to get all the attention.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. We're back to wrap up the show coming up after this.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
At Woodhouse Chevy, we know that buying a car is more than just a transaction. It's a commitment to safety, reliability, and family. From the rugged strength of the Silverado to the refined comfort of the Trax, We have the right vehicle for every journey. Visit us in-store at our 2 locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley and experience the dedication that drives us. Because here, it's not just about getting you on the road. It's about being there for the miles ahead. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
Don't miss out on a complete day of activities for the entire family at the 2025 Husker Games presented by FNBO on Saturday, April 26th. The Husker Games will include football activities in Memorial Stadium, a soccer matchup with Wyoming at Hibner Stadium, and spring volleyball match against Kansas at the Devaney Center. You can also participate in a tour of the Osborne Legacy Complex, the Husker Equipment Sale, and a food truck festival. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets. See you on April 26th.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. With Nick Hanley, I'm Jessica Coody. Final segment here of Sports Nightly. Coming up tomorrow, we will have a full 2 hours of the show, but the first hour will be our monthly check-in with the athletics director, Troy Dannon. He'll be here for the first hour. I'm looking forward to this, Nick, because we've been talking about the Husker games. We heard Coach Roll joke about it the other day, and more information is going to come out. But I know for a fact that we are going to get more information tomorrow night about some of the things that are going to take place. I mean, right now I think it's just, hey, we're having this 2-hour kind of competition that's going to be fun, but there's not a lot of set in stone things, but I know some of that hopefully is going to come out tomorrow night, and I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a fun day.
I do too, and as Matt Rule said, a lot of the same elements that you see in the NFL Pro Bowl, which has actually grown in popularity once they got away from the game itself. I was intrigued, though, and I'm curious, Jessica, if they did do this, if there was a media skills competition. I know he mentioned Sipple trying to catch a punt. I would love to see that. I think a lot of fans would love to see that. I want to know if there was something that you think could happen that you might gravitate towards, something that you would want to show off the skills.
No, I think I'd sit out on the media competition for football. Okay. If it was a basketball competition, I'd be all in. But since it's football, I'll just stick to the broadcasting of folks getting out there trying to compete. I think I'm pretty sure Damon's going to be competing in the Hall of Famers 7-on-7 competition, so we might have a special guest stepping in his role. We'll stay tuned on that. So it's going to be a fun day. We're going to have a lot of fun on the broadcast, and it's going to be a neat, kind of unique deal. So get your tickets, huskers.com/tickets to be a part of the day. We're going to hear much more about it coming up tomorrow night in hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. We're also going to hear from the big dog, Jeremiah Searles. It's been a minute since we've been able to chat with him, so we're going to have him on the show as well. So for Nick Hanley, I'm Jessica Coody. Thanks to Camden and Duke for running the show, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
In the game of life, we all step up to the plate. Sometimes it feels like we're facing a curveball with no clear path. Call, text, or chat 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Don't wait for the ninth inning. Reach out, speak up, and let's strike out life's challenges together. Because we're more than players, we're a resilient community. Remember, in times of need, call a timeout. Call, text, or chat 988. It's okay to ask for help. We're here for you. Every swing, every slide. Play ball. Presented by Nebraska DHHS.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you.